Let's do
All right.
What's
Welcome.
happening?
Yeah. Welcome to the podcast, kids and men and women and everybody listening out there in the great beyond. Dude, you got 4 people watching live already.
Me?
Yeah, on your X account, man. I got
Really?
one. Yeah, I got nobody on X, dude.
No shit.
Oh,
No,
I
one
got
was
2
probably
now.
me.
I got 2 now. We got 7. We got 9 already, and we just fired up. So,
Here we go.
how you been? And then I have a very important question and a follow-up question after that. But tell everybody how you been, man.
Dude, busy. I am so busy. Let's see. I left my house last Wednesday, flew to Houston, was in Houston, then flew to Chicago. To Chicago for a couple days. Now I'm in the Boston area. Boylston. I don't know if you're from here, you can't say the fucking towns here. It's like Boylston, and we would say Worcester, but it's Worcester, and you're like, what? I don't know. There's cars in the yard, so
In the yard.
in the yard. But yeah, dude, busy. How about you?
Not that busy, but work and kids both playing football. They're both. Easton had 4 tackles last Saturday.
All
Super
that.
proud of him. Yeah, Easton was Gage. Easton had 4 tackles. Gage was under the weather, so he didn't play the whole game. But kudos to him for trying. He went out there his best, and so over there like trying not to puke on the sideline. So
Nice. Are they on the same team?
yeah, proud of them. And I'll send you a picture. Because they don't look like twins, dude. Easton is like a foot taller than Gage, and it's just
What?
It's crazy.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've seen pictures, and then you said they're twins. I'm like, huh?
Yeah, you wouldn't believe it. You'd think Easton's like 14 or 15, and Gage is like, well, you look like you're 12, buddy. If you're listening, I don't think you are, but just in case you are, you look exactly how you're supposed to be. Dad loves you. Growth spurt's coming, man. Growth spurt's coming.
Gallon of milk a day.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, man, why did you make me hate AA, and why did you make me this way? Because you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I don't know. You did seem to like it before I came around.
yeah, it is all your fault. And I mean, I never say anything positive about it. You know what I mean, right? Like, ever.
Yeah, if any of if one of the 2 of us hates AA, it's definitely not you. But yeah, no, I wouldn't say I hate them. I just am very good at pointing out the inconsistencies and the logical fallacies and a whole bunch of stuff. And you are much more vocal about it. I just bitch to you about it, and you tend to express some of those more frequently than I do. So
yeah, and that's all it is. You know what I mean? Like I've showed the big books on here, and I think I got them close. And I'll wait till a second. I'll grab them and I'll show you. Like I've been in the program,
yeah,
as deep as anybody that I know it. Like running study books and stuff like that. And it's not a hate for the program; it's a hate for the people that have perverted the program. So. The program could be a decent program, but it was made in the 1930s, so it's dated and it needs to grow up. Right?
Yeah, coming up on 100 years.
Yeah. So I mean, it had a good run, man. We just bring up things like you said, inconsistencies and things that just don't make sense, right? So you're going to talk about ego and how we, all these things, and then the first thing that you do is you throw out your day count and you're superior because of that day count. If you can't see that as hypocritical or hypocrisy, there's really no point in talking to you. And that's why I blocked that individual in particular, one of them, a couple times, but now, that's when I was getting more angry about it. Like I don't know why, but now I can just laugh at him because.
Yeah. And so, it's funny you say that. So if your first, I guess, rush to judgment on someone who throws out the day count is that their ego is taking over, which one really is more egotistical? The person who no longer cares about the day count, or the person who is hung up on how many days they have?
Right.
Now, I can see the other side of the argument is, well, it's one day at a time. I'm going to rack up those 24s, and it lets me know that I've been sober for this long. That's great. Yeah. That's great. That's not what we're arguing. That's not the argument you brought up that you jabbed at me was it's my ego that told me to let go of the day count. No, it's your ego that wants to count the days. So
if you're just listening to this, if you're one of the 20 listening to this right now, and you're just starting out, do you want to still be worried about your day count 15,902 days later? Like, is that the goal? Is that what you're looking for? Like when I went in, I said, man, I can't wait to get my 30-day coin. And then I got it. And then I had to go get another one and another one and another one, and another one, but, get that 1 year coin, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, oh, I just want that so bad, and it's like, man, that's great short term. And a year in the grand scheme of things is long term for some people, but it's still kind of short term. You know what I mean? It's a good goal to watch, but man, 15,902 days, and it's stuck in my head because he posted it again, his day count. So
wait, is that 15,902?
15,902 as of today.
How did it go up 1,000 days in a year?
Well, his math isn't very good, and that doesn't matter. He identifies as 15,000 days sober. He drank last night, but he's just maybe he's counting seconds. I don't know, but you know what? His sobriety is his sobriety. His recovery is his recovery, and we never hate on that.
And so my argument always goes back to the freedom of it. There's a great movie based on a great book, The Count of Monte Cristo, and in one of the scenes, now I'm blanking on the main character's name. Is it Desmond? I can't remember his name. But anyway, he's in jail for a long time. He's got nothing else to do except basically learn how to sword fight and study philosophy with a priest who's locked in there, but he's counting the days on his cell. Mm-hmm. There's nothing else to do. Right. We're locked in a room for 10 years. We're counting the days on our cell. If that's the life that I was living, where I was locked in a cell, then it would give me something to do, something to look forward to, is scratching another tally post in the wall of, hey, I've been here another day. I'm not dead yet. Yeah. But I got other shit to do and things I want to learn and life I want to explore that if I don't have to do that, why would I?
Yeah. So why do you hate day count so much, Adam?
Why do I hate them?
Because that's clearly what some people will listen to this and be like, they're hating on day count. No, dude, just listen to what we're saying, man. Yeah. I won't speak for Adam. I'll speak for myself. There's going to be a point, if I choose to work in the recovery field for the rest of my life, then I'm always going to be talking recovery. But as far as like my personal recovery and story, there's going to be a point, and I'm already there. I don't care about the day counts anymore. I don't want to live that life. I will live in the recovery life while I'm at work, and I'll share my story and all these things, or when I choose to do the podcast. But outside of that, man, I don't. Yeah. That's not me anymore. Like that's just what I do for work and what I do for fun on the podcast.
I mean, it's nothing but personal philosophy on how you want to do it. Yeah. Think about anything that you've learned to do that had restrictions around it. Driving a car, you had to get a learner's permit. You could only drive during certain times with certain people in the car, with an adult licensed passenger in the passenger seat. Eventually, if you want to do anything, you got to get your own license to get those restrictions off of you. So you could theoretically, for the rest of your life, drive on your learner's permit and just renew it every 6 months if you want it. Yeah. You could. Why not? But if you want the freedom of going where you want to go and driving outside of state and not having mom or dad sitting in the seat next to you and have whoever you want to drive in the car with you, then you've got to do something to allow yourself to not have those restrictions. Again, the day count with sobriety is personal philosophy. I don't need it. I don't want it. Why do it?
Yeah. And if it's helping you, it's real shitty that we got to go back and say this, or I feel that I got to go back and say this, but not hating on day count. If you counting 15,000 days helps you and you're living your best life, then God damn it, that's badass, man. Please do that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean anything to me, right? So like I told him I had 600 years of sobriety, and then he's like, well, he's like, well, just another lie from the not sober heathen, because that's super creative. And I was like, prove that I don't have 600 years, dude. I got as much proof that I have 600 years that you got 15,902.
Yeah, Saint Germain over here.
Yeah, dude. I'm counting past lives, man. So
That's right. It's like what you don't realize is, I was teetotaler in my past life.
Yeah, dude.
I was Martin Luther at one point.
Yeah, like 9 lives ago, man, I was a seriously bad drunk. You know what I mean? And when I quit, I said, when I'm reincarnating, I'm never doing that again. Well, you know what? Here we are. 600 years later.
One could argue that you chose this path in this incarnation to learn certain lessons.
Yes, that is a rabbit hole that is fun to go down, isn't it?
Yeah, we talk about really pissing some people off. We'll might want to pigeonhole that one for a while.
Yeah, well, like I would really like to have a discussion with myself that made the decision to come down here to have. Man, you really got to watch what you say these days too, because the last thing I want to do is say something about my worthless mother and never be able to come back and sue me.
Yeah, right.
But I'm gonna pick that one to be my mom. Like, what was I drunk before I incarnated? Like, Jesus.
Yeah, there's a really I think the best analogy I've heard is like if this is a train of thought that you're remotely interested in exploring, I mean, it goes into all sorts of Hindu and Buddhist philosophy and back into the Vedic texts and everything. But basically, this reality being, for our terms, a video game. If you think about something like World of Warcraft or something like that, why do we play video games? It's to experience something else inside of another character and have that adventure. And you're not going to pick we have all probably done this at some point. I can remember doing it with like NBA 2000, where you get to create your own player. And you make the guy 7.5 feet tall, 280 pounds. He's got, 100% stats in every single thing. Yeah, you can go out and dominate the game. And then eventually the game gets boring. So how do you make the game interesting? You start giving yourself limitations.
Yeah.
And so what if, I'm not saying it is, what if the you that is actually controlling your body is your higher self, and this is the skin, the avatar that you have created to go and experience and play a game simply for the experience of those challenges? And what if you chose those challenges specifically to experience what it's like to overcome them?
Right.
So, again, not saying that that's the truth by any means, but it is a fun thought experiment and a fun rabbit hole to go down.
Yeah. I mean, it seems more comforting to me to kind of think of it that way. Like I chose this, and in reality, whether what you're saying is true or not, I'm still choosing most of these things that are going on in my life. There's obviously external factors that are out of my control, but the drinking was my choice, right? Having kids were my choice.
The thing is, we forget who we are, and we begin to identify with the character that we are playing and not the person playing the character.
You guys see why I like talking with this guy?
So I think for me, the effortless sobriety and the identity shift, I call it an identity shift, but maybe it was a conquering of that lesson and removing that restriction.
Yeah, you level up. So now you defeated this thing, you level up. Now you go on to something else.
Yeah,
but it's like World of Warcraft's a great example for that too, because I was elbows deep in that thing for a while, and it's like you got to get all these achievements to unlock these certain things, and it's like, man, that's like a level 3 achievement. I got to go all the way back to that area to do that shit. But yeah,
right.
Yeah,
it's like there was that, man, what was that one game? I feel like this was part of like Legend of Zelda, but I think there was another, decades later, another kind of massive role-playing game where if you didn't make like certain choices, quote unquote correct certain choices in the beginning levels of the game, you could not beat the bad guy at a higher level. You had to literally go back to the first levels and find these hidden artifacts so that you could beat the bad guy later on.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm not sure, but what you were describing made me think of Fable too. You ever play Fable?
No.
Yeah, so it's like every choice that you make makes you good or bad. So like the more bad things you do, like punching people for no reason or stealing, you start to grow little horns. And then if you start to do if you start doing really cool things, and eventually you'll get a halo, like a bright light coming from your head, you know what I mean? And like there's like lights flowing around or whatever. Dude, but just like you said with the Avatar thing, man, I played that game where I did nothing wrong. Like I tried to be like God himself, you know what I mean? Right. And then I would play it and like I'm killing everybody. And so by the end of it, my horns are like this massive, I'm like
right.
Just like darkness, like light can't even touch me, like but you're right. And I think, when we've talked about this before, I think the most fascinating thing is you're right. Like if this was real, you would eventually turn up the difficulty. Like, because what's the point? Like that, there's a reason why they have hardcore modes in games.
Yeah.
Like you die, your guy's dead forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's intense and it's more challenging, right? So it's like, man. Anyways, thanks for listening to that.
Now you know what my plane rides are like.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So just off my own world.
I wanted to bring this up, and I won't bring up the context of which I talked about it, dude, but like let me tug on your brain strings for a second. I am libertarian enough that I think everything should be legal, and as long as you're not hurting anybody, you should be able to go ahead and do it, right? As long as everybody's consenting or whatever. So that's already going to rub people the wrong way, but whatever. We're past that. And what is very frustrating for me right now is to see all these adults coming in that don't have marijuana cards, and they drop hot for THC or alcohol, right? Those two things, like THC has gotten to the point where it's just kind of like alcohol now. It's like, oh, you smoke pot? All right, no big deal. Fuck it. And that's cool. I'm glad for that because it helps so many people with so many different things. It helps with pain. It helps with, so many people are taking THC gummies instead of a bunch of pharmaceuticals. And if it's working, that's great, So we have all these adults that are getting in their tits in a ringer for drinking on a weekend and then coming in and drug testing on a Tuesday, right? The ETG levels are still there. I got 11-year-old kids, as young as 11, coming in and testing with pot in their system.
Damn.
And it's just accepted by the POs are just like, okay. And look, I'm not saying I want these kids to get in trouble. That's not what I'm saying at all. It should be up to the parents to parent their kids. And I know sometimes parents don't parent, but whatever. I'm not going to go off into the fray here. But yeah, so like, if we're going to have court systems, justice systems allowing 11-year-olds to smoke pot and have pot in there with no consequences, why are we still burying people? And that's what's happening. People look, addiction isn't just, people listen to this podcast know that addiction just aren't people being bad. People that don't listen to this podcast and never had experience to it, they might look at like, oh, he's a drunk, he's a bad person. Oh, yeah, he does cocaine, he's a bad person. And I don't think anybody of the 41 people that are watching now, I don't think anybody thinks that way. But man, things can snowball in a hurry on our own. And when you start testing people and you start taking away their only coping, like for me, like my coping mechanism was alcohol, and you take that away, people are going to struggle. And to not anticipate that, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. So I don't know. I guess maybe I didn't need to tug your brain strings on it. I just wanted to throw that out there just to see, if anybody that's listening has any thoughts or why you think it's, it makes sense or why it doesn't make sense. Because it makes no sense to me, man. I see these people almost begging, like just physically, it looks like they're begging for help or some change, or just,
Yeah.
oh my God, just let me get through this week, or, without something bad happening. And, they go to the thing that you can buy in every street corner, alcohol, and they have a drink, and now they're going to go to spend 10 days in jail because they drank.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but the 11-year-old smoking pot's fine.
You know, you know where I'm going to go with this. The courts, like we as a country, if we're ever going to solve this, in my opinion, we're ever going to solve the problem. We're not going to solve the issue of addiction, the problem at the personal level. But if we're ever going to solve it from a societal level, we have to make the decision and put the fucking resources into it to separate addiction issues from legal consequences.
Yeah.
If you got a DUI, or for some reason, you got in trouble because you're intoxicated, yes, you're going to end up paying the price for whatever the trouble was. But the way that we do it with this type of abstinence, when all the research out there shows that this doesn't work, it's just a snowball effect, like you said. I mean, it's just going to continue to repeat the cycle. All we're doing is putting somebody on a merry-go-round and spinning it. And then as soon as they sling them back off, put them back on and spin it again. I think of Portugal. I think Vancouver did a really good job of this, of not by any means legalizing substance abuse, but putting the money that they would use for legal consequences to blowing positive or testing positive into actual treatment, as opposed to, all right, we're going to put you in jail, or you can go to a 30-day state paid for rehab center, which we all know is pretty much a joke. We would move away from rehab centers milking insurance companies, because that's the whole reason that we have 30 and 35-day programs, is because that's what insurance companies will pay for.
Mm-hmm.
We would move away from all this stuff. We would move away from mandated AA, mandated NA. We would move into actual therapy, actual treatment. And I don't know what the best version of that looks like, but it has to be done at a societal level. We have to divorce the court system from using AA as the surrogate treatment method. We have to divorce the medical system from using AA as a surrogate medical treatment method. Because that's the whole reason that it exists, was basically in the 40s and 50s, medical establishment and the legal establishment were tired of it, and they said, fuck it, AA wants them, AA can have them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and from there, all the stuff that you see, the fun little arguments back and forth on Twitter, X, stuff like that, that is the people who see it like us versus the people who are indoctrinated into the system see it.
Yeah.
And so, that's why AA has the cult mentality rap that it does with so many people, is that you've basically got to indoctrinate yourself into that way of thinking. There is no take our lessons, even though they will say this to their blue in the face, take what you want and leave the rest.
Yeah.
As soon as you leave the rest, then you're going to be shunned.
Right.
As soon as you do that, you are shunned. So if you want to stay in good graces with the peer group that you've made inside the walls, who have bought in and drunk the Kool-Aid, then you have to buy in and drink the Kool-Aid. Or you have to live a lie yourself and know that deep down inside you don't agree with half this stuff, but you're going along with it anyway, which is just sitting there eating at you anyway.
Yeah.
So
I bought in for a brief moment of time. I bought in 100% for a brief moment of time. It was not very long. I'm talking like a week or two, because that nagging thing in my head, there was always something in there like, this just isn't for me. But I was told that I had to do it, not just in treatment, by the way. If you're listening, you know who you are.
yeah.
I was just told that's what I had to do. So I did my best to fake it till I make it. And, did AA help me? Yes, absolutely it did. It gave me, not the first thing and foremost that it gave me was I wasn't alone. Like all these stories that I heard, like, oh my God, I'm not the only one that hides bottles in the drop ceiling. I'm not the only one that has pissed or shit myself because I'm so fucking drunk, right? Like that helped tremendously. And I give Bill a lot of credit for the time and that he was in coming up with what he got. I do that all the time. But let's be honest here, okay? And it's you can research it. You know, the one guy we're talking about earlier, he sent me the same article written by the same university saying the same thing written by 2 or 3 other people, and he counted it as multiple sources. And it's like they're talking about the same thing from the same place, dude, that says the same thing. It's just a different author. But the best studies show that AA success rate is right around 10%. Okay, some will say it's like 13, some will say like it's like 7. So I think 10% is fair.
Yeah.
Would you send your children to a pediatrician that had a 10% success rate on making your kids better if they had the flu or something? You know, all the reviews say 10%, 10%, 10%. No, you wouldn't. Yeah. And again, this isn't saying the AA needs to go away. It's saying we need more options and other options. And I know we have more and more of them, but the problem is, first thing the courts do when you get sentenced, you have to go to 90 meetings in 90 days. You have to go to 1 AA meeting or 2 AA meetings a day, right? Like a day. And now the court system that I work with right next door to actually, you know, they just want peer groups. You know,
I think that we're making that small transition to peer support groups.
Oh, it still says AA and A on the sheet, but they allow peer groups.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And for anybody that's, you know, never experienced that, it's like you got to go to 1 a day. Do you understand how? If you're trying to keep your life somewhat organized and keep it together, like you're already in a shitty spot in life and you're trying to maintain some semblance of a normal life and get yourself out of a hole. Now you have to go to a 60 to 90 minute meeting every day. You got to get there. You got to go to the meeting. You got to get out of there. How do you skip work? You go before work? Do you go after work? What do you do with your kids if you have kids?
Yeah.
If you've lost your license, how do you get there? How do you pay for it? Right? Then once you get there, you start trying to do everything that AA asks for you. If you don't get there early to set up the chairs and you don't make the coffee and you don't stay late to break it down, then you're automatically starting to be shunned. And it's a new peer support group. So you obviously don't want to be shunned in your new peer support group. So you have to do all this. It's just, and I know we're getting off the fact of the actual program versus the rooms. So, you know, I'll stop at that. But
no,
it's
so many people don't understand this, right? And I think both the people that are deadly pro AA need to understand this, and people who are meh AA and people who aren't need to understand this. So not only do they tell you that you have to go to a meeting a day, they will send you, and I'll give you an example, right? So if somebody gets in trouble with drugs or alcohol, they're sent over to us. The paper will say, go to this place, get a substance use assessment, X amount of meetings, follow requirements. Or it'll say minimum of 6 sessions, minimum of 12 sessions, minimum of 20 sessions, right?
So who made that?
Yeah, like what's the fucking standard? Yeah, what the fuck is the standard for one? And two, now you have to find time for a 2-hour assessment. Now you have to find time for a meeting every day. Now you have to find time to get to the therapist and to follow your recommendations. And their schedule is right during the day when you're supposed to be working too.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like, and I can already hear it. I can hear them. Did you hear that? Well, if you can't do the crime, don't do the crime.
Yeah.
This is an addiction. Or most of the people that are walking through aren't really hurting anybody. They got pulled over, or whatever. They got a DUI, or they had something on them when they got pulled over for something else. That is the majority of the people that walk into the office. Now, there are some really sick people that have a really bad addiction, but they're not hurting anybody except for themselves. And they're just revolving door. You know, I basically carried this 185-pound man home because he showed up to our place so drunk he could barely talk.
Yeah.
And instead of, I took his car keys, like, dude, not letting you drive home. And I carried him in one arm and his big dog I had around the collar in the other hand. And I walked him home. And I'm not bragging about myself. I'm just saying, like, if I wouldn't have been there to do that, that dude would have been right off to jail, drunk as a skunk. His dog would have been taken to a whatever, because they're not looking at the big picture here. right?
Yeah.
They're not looking at this. You'll go to an AA meeting. It's the disease. You're sick. You need help. You go into court. You're an asshole. And they're getting better. It's not everybody. You know what I mean? It's not everybody. But don't you dare get a positive test. I know you've been drinking for 15 fucking years, and it's the only way that you can sleep at night. It's the only way that you get through every bad thing because you don't know how to express yourself. But if you go to that, you're in big trouble. So then everybody's, they lose their coping mechanism, and now they're dealing with all this shit that they never had to deal with now, and you wonder why they act out and do something else. You know what I mean?
Yep, 100%, man, 100%.
Oh yeah, and you brought up something I wasn't even thinking about. Like, how do they come up with these requirements, these recommendations, dude? Like, it's like, they'll do something like they'll do an ASAM where the therapist will sit down and say, okay, I think you need to do this many sessions or whatever. But then, and I'm not saying everybody does this, but these places have to make money too. So do you make more money on telling somebody that's in a court system? Dude, I can tell you right now, if you come in and you're self-pay, your treatment plan is going to be different than the other one. And that is going to get me in trouble probably, but I don't care. That's the truth. Because the argument can be made, well, the people that are self-pay, they're typically not court ordered, so they don't need the help the other people do. And I could see that argument being made, but it's crap. You can get in trouble and have a court case and not be as bad off as somebody else. I'm just saying.
A lot of times people who are self-paid don't have insurance.
Yeah, well,
they're trying to come up with out of pocket to do what they're being told they have to do. I'll throw another one on it. I don't have a DUI. I had no legal action, anything against me. I had to go to a certain amount of AA meetings for 2 years just in order to see my kid.
Yeah.
Just in order, just the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
Never done anything wrong. Nothing to put her life in danger. Nothing abusive. I just couldn't get sober. My wife didn't like it, so filed for divorce because of drinking. So that's what the judge said.
Yeah. A lot of people that come in and do that can't see their kids without passing the drug test. Yeah.
And again, I know the naysayers and the arguments are going to be, well, kids are involved. Yeah, but there's no history of abusing the kids, so.
Or endangerment. You know what I mean? Like,
So we can't use speculation in any other court of law except for family law.
Insane, isn't it?
Right.
I had a client, again, I don't know how honest people are being, but one lady said that she had an Adderall found in her car, which she had a prescription for, but didn't at the time that she got pulled over. And because it's Adderall, they charged her for having that because it's a loose pill. So I don't know. Like, this isn't me bashing the court system. I mean, it kind of is, honestly, because it kind of sucks. But it's their own doing because they're so busy with so much stupid shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's just court case after court case about pot and growing, having a little bit of cocaine in your pocket. And I know, like, I'm not making light of using cocaine, but goddamn, dude.
Yeah. I'm with you. I think my stance is very libertarian. It's like, if you're not hurting anybody, you're not putting anybody else at danger. No, I completely get it. People are not going to just do that. And so,
sure.
But I mean, if you're at your house doing it on your own, fuck it.
I would honestly rather less regulations on doing it and tougher penalties on hurting people. I would be okay with that because that makes sense to me. But still get the help. You know what I mean? Still get the help. So. All right. Well, I don't know if I veered that off into the ditch, bringing that up or not, but it's pretty sweet, dude. You got 19 people watching off your X account, man. That is awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't log into the StreamYard, so I have not seen any of that. Pretty cool.
Yeah, dude. On the up and up.
It's the MasterChef fame.
It might be, man. Oh yeah. And don't forget, if you haven't watched it, go back and watch that shit.
Finale is tomorrow. Tomorrow is the final. I'm sorry, Wednesday. Wednesday is the finale. We're going to find out who wins.
It's so much fun.
It's going to be a fun one.
Watching this guy that I've only met once in real life. On that day. But, I don't know. We've talked so much, it's like I know you a little bit. And
I think
it's so much fun, man. It's so cool. So make sure to support Adam and give that a check out, man. It's
going to be a blast. We're going to a watch party, and it's about 16 or 17 of the cast going to be there. It's going to be like a mini reunion.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's going to be a big. Yeah, everybody's going to be there. Let's see. I'll be there with Joel, my brother. So my dynamic duo. Darcy and Courtney are going to be there. Shonda will be there. Azu from Azu and Javier. Azu, the Spanish, or I'm sorry, the Mexican hottie. I said it, Azu. Hope you're listening. Who else is coming? Ryan Kate will be there. Jess and Jesse will be there. Tim and Athena will be there. Kevin, the big firefighter from one of the first couple episodes, will be there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be big.
Cool.
Ashley, so yeah, Ashley
Nice.
from Ricky and Ashley will be there. Yeah, it's be a lot of fun.
Awesome, dude.
A lot of fun.
We had to forego our YouTube TV, so I gotta find a way to go back and check it out. But
I got a link. I'll send it to you.
Oh, awesome.
Somebody. I don't know if this is a legal thing, but
Absolutely, I'm sure it is.
Somebody's ripping them somehow and putting them on YouTube.
Oh, no shit. Totally legal.
So one of my friends from overseas sent it to me. He's like, "Hey, I found the show."
Yeah. So after we see what happens tomorrow, if it's not Adam holding the prize, the title or whatever, I think all 53 people watching need to send vigorous emails out to Master Chef and say, nuts and bolts, Adam got screwed. That's right. So real quick, dude, I don't want to keep you because I know you're working out of town, but have you seen this? And I saw something like this a long time ago, but have you seen this dude from Panama claiming that he picked up a meteorite and it's he put it in like a bowl or a dish and now it's sprouting like tentacles are wiggling? It does not look real, but boy, it's like a daily documentary. I went down the wormhole a little bit when I had some time at work. It looks like a rock, and then he put water on it, and then he like put some light on it or something, and put this glass thing over a plate, and it started sprouting out little tentacles and like wiggling around. And I'm like, dude, if that's venom, I'm gonna be pissed.
That's funny.
It is pretty intense. So, look and see. If I can find something, I'll send it to you, and maybe I'll repost one next for everybody listening. And then the other thing, what's your thoughts on this Atlas thing that's coming in from outer space? Have you heard much about that?
So I've seen a few things. It's supposed to be not natural, right? Because it's moving at too high a rate of a speed and too straight of a line and
changing course. Right? Yeah, it's changing course now. I'm hearing that.
So I'll give you the crazy out there scenario, right? Yeah, right. So what's Nibiru, right?
Yeah.
The 10th planet out past Pluto.
Yep.
So one of the things that we don't talk about with the Zodiac is that it's this 24,000 year cycle. Do you know what it takes us 24,000 years to do? Is to orbit our sister star. Is it Polaris?
Oh, okay.
Every 24,000 years, our solar system basically does orbit around our sister star somehow, but that puts Nibiru like it's on the closer side of the ellipse as it's to the further side. So the 24,000 years, the Zodiac split into 4 quadrants, basically. So you've got the 2 sides that are closest together, which are supposedly enlightenment, and 2 sides that are further apart, which are kind of like the dark ages.
Okay.
So we are on the path now of coming out of the dark ages back towards enlightenment in this ecliptic. And that puts Nibiru much closer to us. And a lot of these different ancient calendars and stuff all point to basically a planet beyond Pluto, which is supposed to come make a visit back to us.
Yeah.
I did a really poor job of doing that, butchering that story, but
no,
a bunch of different people have kind of put those together.
Let me log out of this real quick so we don't have this beeping in the background if you can hear it. Yeah, so I went down the Zachariah Sitchin hole many years ago to the point of reading an article about him, and I read it. I was in the dark in my room like this. I know it kind of looks light from the screen, but it's not. Sitting and reading this article, and I got to the bottom. I'm like, oh my God. I remember standing up. I was in the household by myself. I'm like, that's it. It took everything and kind of put it together. Now, there's been a lot of things that Sitchin got wrong, and people are coming out and talking about it, but it's a rabbit hole if you're interested in that kind of stuff. They're saying this thing is emitting shit that it shouldn't be emitting now. It's shooting out in a direction that a comet wouldn't shoot out. Right. I got all kinds of hopes and dreams. There we go.
Well, and the thing that got me was, I can't remember where I read it or what I was listening to, but nothing in space moves in straight lines. Because of gravity. Yeah. If everything out there is moving in an orbit around something else, it's moving in an orb circle. It's not moving in a straight line.
Right.
This thing's moving in a straight plottable course, and then it changes course into another straight plottable course.
Dude, they knew, the Sumerians knew about the asteroid belt. Or maybe they didn't, but at least that's what the interpretations and Sitchin was saying. They knew about the asteroid belt, and they talked about how the Anunnaki from Nibiru had to blast their way through that to get to Earth to look for minerals. And again, do I believe all this stuff? I want to believe, but it's fun to think about.
It's fun.
We've done a tinfoil hat episode in the past, so maybe with Halloween coming up, maybe we can work it out
it was close to Halloween last year, wasn't it? About September?
Probably, yeah. So we'll plan that. So out of the 54 of you, look at me. I'm talking like I'm mentioning the viewers like I got 15,902 days. I'm bragging, flexing my ego. But no, if you guys are listening, you're interested in another tinfoil hat. If you think it's fun, we'll do it. I'd like this podcast, doing this Recover podcast, man. I am so grateful for this thing. You know what I mean? Like, I had to shut it down for a while because I couldn't afford to distribute it. I'm not distributing it anymore. I'm paying for this software to sit and record and be able to do some things I like to do, and then throwing it on YouTube. But this podcast has really, really helped me in my recovery, talking to some amazing people. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention this. Yesterday I was supposed to have Katie from Thrive Recovery on. It was just a miscommunication. She just kind of slipped through the cracks. She's coming back October 12th.
Nice.
We're going to, it just things that happen, and I plan these things to do live. If I didn't do that, if I pre-recorded them or released them, I feel like it'd be more boring, even though, it's not like the comments are blowing up or anything, but there's always that chance, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, absolutely.
But
one thing I'm excited about getting into and sharing with you and with just X and Instagram a little bit more. I'm going to start doing, you talked about, and I bring this up because you talked about coping mechanisms earlier. I'm going to start presenting some info on kind of mental fitness and cognitive fitness training. So things that you can actually do that are legit science backed to increase the neuroplasticity of your brain. Like, I shouldn't say increase it because it's not really something you can increase, but to take advantage of this, I call it a feature of our hardware that we can rewire ourselves to be more resilient and more patient and more cognitively fit. So that's gonna be coming here in the next few days, next week.
Can't wait for it, dude. Like, patience, man. I mean, just imagine if we could just there's so many not to use a word that's triggering, but trigger. There's so many words that just set us all off. You know what I mean? Like, and I noticed myself freaking out, on X on certain things, like, God damn it, and I start typing out a message, and then chill, bro. Dude, and I said it before, but I delete more tweets. Well, I'm still going to call them tweets because everybody knows about. I delete more tweets now than I post, and it ain't even close, because I'm working on that myself right now, because I get pissed off real easy. Things have been a little bit of a struggle financially, and other things, stressful at work, and things are weighing on me. And then but I will say this: typing that shit out and then rereading it is great for me. It might be great for you. I don't know. It's worth a shot.
As long as you can put the space between writing it and sending it.
Yes.
And one of the things that we've talked about in the past, and one of the things that I'm going to bring up with this mental fitness is getting that pause in there, right? So I have talked a lot in the past about how beliefs fuel thoughts, thoughts fuel feelings, and feelings fuel actions, right? Belief, thought, feeling, action. That's basically how we work, right? So the response mechanism is basically the same, though. It's stimulus, thought, feeling, action. Something comes at you and you have a stimulus. It's going to trigger a thought. What's going to trigger a feeling? What's going to trigger an action? The my personal opinion is that you can't control the stimulus. Thoughts are damn near instantaneous, and the hardest way, or really the only way that you can control thoughts is to really control who you like. Go back and reprogram your identity, your subconscious beliefs about yourself. So thoughts are going to be pretty much automatic. That thought's going to pretty much automatically trigger a feeling. But if you can put a space between the feeling and the action, that is where you're going to change so much of your life and your behavior. And that's this difference between action and reaction. Reaction, there's no space there. It's just thought, stimulus, thought, feeling, go. Put that space in there, and then you can choose how you want to respond.
I cannot wait to see what you start putting out there, dude. And in the meantime, this was given to me by my good old counselor who's not listening to this, but if you are, hi, John. He has the greatest name in the world, John P. Duty. So he's like, try having that name growing up. What do you do in the John? You pee and you duty.
John P. Duty.
John P. Duty. And he said this. So I'm going to count to 3 in my head, and then I'm going to say it because you should write this down if you can. First question to ask yourself, you ask yourself these 3 things, and if it's yes to all 3, then you can go ahead and do it. Number 1, does it need to be said? Number 2, does it need to be said by me?
Mm-hmm.
And number 3, does it need to be said by me right now?
Yeah.
And he's like, if you can say yes to all 3 of those, pull the trigger. And boy, if you can take that second, like, just train yourself like, okay, I'm going to react right now. Oh, I'm fucking mad. Wait a minute. I got to read these 3 questions. Just to, just start like, and I've tried it. I haven't been perfect at it, man. But when I can, boy, has it saved me some headache. I really think it has. That's right. So does it need to be said? Does it need to be said? Does it need to be said by me? Does it need to be said by me right now? And
love it.
Yeah, it really can slow you down. And it's the best advice by the guy with the greatest name on the planet. And just now that you've heard that name, I'll tell the story briefly again. He says, and I believe him, I have no reason to doubt him, he worked at a paper factory as an inspector. And the joke in the factory was, if it's not good enough for our duty, it's not good enough for yours.
Oh, love it.
Dude, I'm going to, when we get done with this, I'm going to send him a message and ask him if he'd like to come on the podcast.
Yeah.
I would love to sit and talk with that guy.
Yeah, ask him if we can put it on a shirt.
Yeah.
With those 3 questions, John P. Duty.
Yeah, John P. Duty. Yeah. Toilet paper inspector extraordinaire.
Do the proceeds to some charity of his choice or something.
Yeah. So anyway, we're again to flex our ego. You have 20 people. We have 60 total watching. That's pretty fucking awesome, especially when it's been sporadic and I miss a week or whatever. And we used to do these a couple times a week. It's like, again, sincerely, thank you. It means a lot to have the interaction or viewership, even if you just turn it on and you're washing the dishes. It's really cool to be able to do this. Like if I could go back 3 years ago and tell myself I'd be talking to people all over the world, all over the United States, and interviewing some incredible people, I probably would have said, yeah, because I was drunk 3 years ago.
Hey, pour me another one.
I don't fucking care. Where's my half pint? So, all right. Well, dude, it was great talking to you, man. Have a great day tomorrow. And thanks, everybody. Appreciate you.
Adios.